Let's hear it!
I want to thank everybody. This has been an incredible experience for all of us. Because I know you went out and you bought those suckers and they're worth a hell of a lot more than you paid. Typically, that is not a bad thing, right? I got two. And I thought we'd do something a little different. I was telling Bill has done a fantastic job with the NFTs, and I've been with him for 30 years. I used to do speeches for Bill, and we never had an empty seat. We went for the Learning Annex. He did a great job. And we just had this idea, and we did it when NFTs were not hot, and we made NFTs hot again, right? So we made, what a good-looking group of people. That's what impressed me so much. About 8 months ago, we had one of these meetings. Who was it the last time we came to Mar-A-Lago? That's right. The best-looking people I've ever seen. I see some old political hacks, and they come in, and I say, I can't. I never wanted to leave. In fact, I was supposed to leave about an hour ago, and they didn't. I have a fake trial going on with these horrible people. They drummed up some nonsense. It's a shame for America. It's a shame, but we've never had better poll numbers. Poll numbers are the highest we've ever had. We're beating crooked Joe Biden by a lot, both in the national polls and in the swing states. We're beating him. One I just saw today, we're leading by a lot in every single swing state. That's the way we have to keep it, because he's the worst president in the history of our country. There's never been a president as bad as this guy, and we're going to make sure he doesn't get in office, and they can't cheat like they did last time. So we're going to make sure he doesn't get in office. We're going to get him out. We're going to get him out fast. There's no presidency by comparison is brilliant. It's considered brilliant. But I want to thank you all. So we've had great luck, or talent, or whatever it may be. And I just saw the box. Let me see that box, Bill. That box is so beautiful. I want to see. Did you see the box? I think most of you, or some of you, have gotten it. Yeah. I think it looks good with the card, right? I thought it was beautiful. Where the hell is that?
You got your card?
I thought, what that is, the enemy. So, but I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. I thought I'd go out and, rather than, Crooked Joe doesn't take questions, because every time he doesn't know what the hell's going on. This guy, he can't put two sentences together. You see the stairs going down, you see the doors behind me, they're all exits, right? He can't find out when he's finished speaking, which is a minute or less. They're the quickest speeches in history. Goes up, where am I? This is the guy that's negotiating with Russia on nuclear weapons. I'll tell you what, we have a scary 5 months ahead. We're now down to a little more than 5 months, but it's a scary, dangerous time. When you have a guy like this in office, he's a disgrace. They weaponized the elections like never before. This has never happened in our country before. And so far, they've driven our poll numbers through the roof. So I don't know if I want to complain too much, but it's a disgrace what's happening in so many different ways with inflation, with all of the different things. You would have never had October 7th in Israel. It would have never happened. You would have never, and that would have never happened. You would have never had Russia and Ukraine. It would have never happened. And even the Democrats admit it would have never happened. But I thought I'd do something a little different, because you're all Trump fans, or you wouldn't be buying this stuff. And now you like me even better. And I thought what we would do is, you've heard me speak a couple of times before. Who has gone to a rally, a Trump rally? That means we have a lot of potential. You know what I want to do? If you want to ask me questions, Joe Biden doesn't do this because he's incapable of answering a question. Me, I'm a very capable person. And if it's too tough a question, I'll just avoid it and go on to the next one. Why don't we think of some good questions, and I'll answer your questions. And I don't know if we have a mic that we can hand out. Do we have a mic out here someplace? If we do, get the mic, hand it out. And how about that tall, handsome guy in the back? Go ahead.
Is there going to be a Series 4 collection?
What a good question. So I'll ask you guys. So I believe in supply and demand. And as you know, 1 did great, 2 did great, 3 did great. At some point, maybe that turns around. Does that make sense or not?
Yeah.
And if I do a Series 4, and I'd like to in some ways, in other ways, I want to make sure that you do well. We did something that nobody would, I think very few people would have done. We came out at 99 and 99 and 99, even though the average price was many times that. I don't know exactly what, but many times that. And some were selling for numbers that nobody even believes, like $80,000, $87,000. Guy puts up $99. But some were selling for very, very high numbers. And I did let it be 99 because I really feel this way. I had such a different feeling, and when I met that last group here, I don't know what it was, 8 months ago. It was a group of people that won something, come over to. I was going to say the White House, but it is sort of the Southern White House. It was built actually. Mar-A-Lago was built as the Southern White House. But when I said come over, I felt such a warmth, and I really feel that obviously if something is averaging $1,200 or $1,500 or $1,800 or $900, and you say, I just want 99, I want to see you guys do well. Okay? I don't need it, so I want to see you do well. So how do you feel? Okay, let's have a show of hands. How do you feel about if you wanted to do a 40? Who would like to see a 40? Wow. Based on supply and demand, couldn't that maybe keep your prices of the stuff you've already bought? Could it not keep it low? Okay, who would like not to see a fourth collection for that reason? Okay, a couple of economists. Who would... And do you think that might bring down the price a little bit?
Temporarily.
It could.
But long term, up.
You have to buy the originals, that's all.
It could.
You should have to buy the. You should have to
You
hold.
always want to buy that original, those first two, and the third.
You should have to hold the first 3 collections in order to be eligible to buy the 4th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Zanker, did you hear that? You have to hold. That's a good one. You can't buy the 4th collection unless you hold the first 3.
Yep. That. I would do all 3.
But I like the idea of holding
All 3.
No, I just think, you put a little bit of wow, that's a great idea. What is your name? Would you like
Matt. Matt.
Who else has ideas on that? Yeah, please.
Can we donate to your campaign using crypto?
Yes. If you can't, I'll make sure you can. Can we donate to the Trump campaign using crypto? I believe the answer is yes. Is there somebody that can help me with that answer?
Right here.
Is the answer yes or no?
The answer is yes.
I love that hat. That's one of the greatest hats. The biggest selling hat in history. You do know that. We should have taken that. It's an NFT, the hat. Would have been the greatest NFT ever. So we can do crypto.
We can do crypto.
Okay.
My company can help you with that. We'll be in touch.
I love that, then. I love that. Well, I'm in favor of it. You know that, right? I'm in favor of it. I'm in favor of crypto. I went to a race the other day. Crypto was sponsoring the race. And I said, good. We had a good time in Miami. So yes, please, go ahead.
Can we only use Bitcoin for purchase?
I think as of now, what's the story of that one?
You can answer that.
Can they only use Bitcoin? Where's
can use-
Zanker? He just left me. He left me up here all by myself. You're pointing to him again. What are you, some kind of a genius?
we
They only use crypto to purchase.
No, we support Ethereum. We can even support Dogecoin.
Ethereum.
So lots of
You use,
different
I think,
cryptos.
pretty much all. It's really becoming developed. I see it. We did a sneaker thing, and you saw one. The final pair was just a limited for fun. The final pair, they say, but for $450,000. And we did crypto. It's having a big impact. Yeah, go ahead.
All the guys who want to
If we do a fourth? Yeah, no, I like the concept of holding the fourth, but getting a special deal, maybe. Holding the first 3, but getting a special deal on the fourth. I like that. It's something like
Early
that.
access or a special deal.
I think that would be good. That would really be an incentive. I think that would be a really great incentive. Has everybody held? Who's held number 1, number 2, number 3, all of them? Have there been many sellers? Because if there are,
Kick them out.
they're not happy. Not too many.
They're not going into it.
That's what impressed me so much. It went up so much, and when I met with the guys, they all said, "We'll never sell. We'll never sell." I said, "Who is selling?" And the numbers are pretty good, and in some cases, made a difference. We have some people that literally it made a difference in their lives, but almost every one of them said, "We're never selling. We're never selling." And I just appreciate that very much. It's a great compliment. Please.
How does God, your relationship with God play a role in your policy?
Well, I'm a big believer in God, And I don't know in terms of, I don't ask for policy advice, but I think morally, I just feel very strongly about God. And I think that this country has lost its confidence, it lost its way, it lost its stability, it lost so many things. Even the crime in the country is at a level that nobody's ever seen before. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't have that powerful rudder of God. I really believe that strongly. It's hurt us. You have God and you want to be good because you want to go to heaven, you want to, whatever it may be. But when you don't have anything like that, that includes parents and it includes others, but when you have God, you do things because you want to please God. And that's a beautiful, I call it a rudder, it really is. It's a beautiful rudder to keep on the straight and narrow. So it's a very good question. I appreciate it. Yeah, please, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you, when, God willing, you're back into the office, how do you plan on maintaining support for Israel, and what exactly is your plan?
Well, Israel's got to be able to finish what they started. They got to finish it out. They must do it quickly because the world is really becoming very hostile toward Israel. They have to get it finished, and they have to get it finished fast. And I think they should do it more silently. They don't have to show buildings coming down every day. You understand that? That's not what people want to see. And they have to go finish their job. They have to finish it quickly. And people have to remember October 7th. There's never been a day like that. That was just a horrible, horrible day. And the other side, if you believe it, and many of those people never went to the colleges. They're anarchists. But the other side, they don't even believe, they say they don't believe there was an October 7th. They're acting as though it is a sham. And it's not a sham. And I've seen things that you don't want to see ever. Because it was a bad time for Israel. Very bad time. Horrible thing. And that would have never happened if I was president. You know that. Iran was broke. They had no money for terrorists. They had no money for Hamas. The Hezbollah. They had no money. They were broke. We would have had a deal in 1 week. We would have had a deal after the election. And then the election got rigged and stolen. But we're not going to let that happen this time. But it's a great question. They have to finish their job quickly. Well, I have a lot of good people. We had a lot of them here a couple of days ago on the stage. And we really do. Who do you like?
Honestly, Tucker.
A lot of people don't disagree with you on
I want the truth.
Tucker is a good man.
Tucker.
He's been a good man. He's been a friend of mine. He said he loves our country. I will tell you. You like Tucker? Who do you like?
I like Tucker Carlson.
Who do you like? Yeah.
I'm from Europe.
Oh, well, he likes Macron. He likes Macron for VP. Let's take a little twist. Who do you like? A couple of names. Throw out.
J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance. Yeah, J.D. Vance has been strong.
Yeah.
He's been strong. I heard you too. Do you think there'd be a conflict there? Would there be with what you said, the name you said?
No, I think he's trained pretty well.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good.
I like
We beat him up pretty good, though. Right?
What's harder?
Were you proud of me? Because he's a Trump fan, but he said DeSantis. We have a little problem. You also have a Florida problem. You understand that if you do that, you lose your delegates.
Michael Flynn.
That's a
What's
big one.
harder? Growing up in Queens or
Say it. What?
What's harder? Growing up in Queens or working in D.C.?
Well, working in D.C. is a lot more dangerous. When I grew up in Queens was safe. Now it's not safe. But working in D.C., part of our platform is we're going to redo D.C. and we're going to bring it back to a glory that it's never even seen before. We're going to make it beautiful and safe, and we're going to do it. And the FBI should not be allowed to move to Maryland. The FBI should stay right in the middle of D.C. so that you have additional law enforcement. But we're going to do something, just one of the many things. And we're also going to build a shield. We're going to build an iron dome over the United States, and it's all going to be made in America.
Thank you.
And we're going to build it just like, Israel has an iron dome. If they didn't have it, you would have had 300 rocket hits. Instead, every one of them was knocked down. We're going to have, because we have the most sophisticated people in the world, technicians. We have the best iron dome technology. And it's time that we build one for ourselves right now.
Yeah.
We're going to build an iron dome over our country. And it's going to be a great thing, and it's all going to be made in America, right? Yes, sir, go ahead, please.
Biden seems to be trying to kill crypto. I'm curious if you plan to.
Yeah, we wanted to ask you a question. Crypto, can we buy in crypto?
For what?
For the NFTs?
Yes.
Can they contribute crypto to the campaign? I say yes.
Yes.
These are crypto.
Save America. Just write checks out. Save America. We'll take all the crypto. We'll take all the crypto that you want. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, President. It was briefed recently that you wanted to bring interest rates in-house. So you're going to end the Fed?
So, the Fed's a mixed blessing. I'm not a huge fan of the man there right now. He was recommended by somebody that shouldn't have recommended him. Remember, I had a big fight, jawboning pretty strongly, and he ended up reducing interest rates. But now you do have a big inflation problem, and if you reduce interest rates, you're really going to I think you're going to start up inflation again. And inflation is a country buster. There's nothing like inflation. You go back to Germany from 100 years ago, go back to other countries where they had inflation, it destroys, it busts, it destroys countries. So this isn't the right time for that. As far as the Fed, I'm okay with it, I'm okay without it. I can do a lot of different things. I know they were fairly strong that I was against it. You can do things other than the Fed. What's your feeling on the Fed? Do you like it or not?
Andy. And the Fed.
Are you a Fed fan?
No.
A lot of people in this group won't be a Fed fan. With the cowboy hat, go ahead.
Yeah, how do you feel about CBDCs and government blockchain?
I think that it all has its place, and it's happening more and more, but it all has its place. We have new things. Not only that, we have technology coming out right now, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. 2 months ago, nobody even heard about it. But we have some incredible things happening. But everything is going to have its place. I mean, crypto, if you go back to crypto a couple of years ago, people said it wasn't going to make it. And now you look at it, it's up in record numbers. And it's another form, I guess you could say it's another form of currency. And I think I'm for that. I think I'm for that. More and more I'm for that. Yes, please. Go ahead. With that long blonde hair.
So I'm looking at the Freedom City. What state would you start with the first Freedom City?
Well, we came out originally, we talked about building 10 freedom cities. The problem I have is that we have cities right now that are crumbling, that are existing. And I think I really want to fix our existing cities first rather than starting 10 new ones and get them right. I like that better than Freedom City. Freedom City was a conservative dream, and it's wonderful to have those dreams. But before we have those dreams, I think we have to fix up Chicago and New York and San Francisco and LA and
Portland.
Portland.
Portland's not good.
Portland's a disaster, and nobody gets in trouble. For
It's
Portland.
World War
They
III.
don't have storefronts in Portland. They use 2x4s. They don't bother putting up storefronts. It's so bad. But Portland is an example. Minneapolis, I saved Minneapolis. I brought in the National Guard. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, you wouldn't have Minneapolis. Remember the CNN guy? He said, "This has been a very calm protest." And behind him, the whole city was burning. So anyway, please, go ahead.
Gary Gensler and the SEC have been attacking crypto for the longest time.
Yeah, they're against it.
When you become president, we feel, I'm sure a lot of us feel this way, that they need to change or go in some kind of way.
Yeah,
What do you
look,
think about
they are against it. The Biden doesn't even know what it is. If you ask Biden, sir, are you for or against crypto? What's that? What the? Get me off the stage. He said, get me off the stage. No, he has no idea. But look, Gensler is very much against it. The Democrats are very much against it. And I say this, a lot of people are very much for it, probably a lot of the people in this group. And I'm fine with it. I want to make sure it's good and solid and everything else, but I'm good with it. And if you like crypto in any form, it comes in a lot of different forms. If you're in favor of crypto, you better vote for Trump because they want to end it. And they will. So I think we should get that vote out because it's a lot of people, and you got to get that vote out. He's a good-looking guy, this guy. I wish I looked like, would have been president 20 years ago. Yeah, go ahead. We having a good time? This is better than.
Oh, yeah.
Ethereum guy making some crypto like platform or network.
guys make your own crypto?
Well, right now I want to run for president. Let me do that. If you want to come up with your own form of crypto, right now let me run for president. That's sort of a full-time job. I like the idea. If I have any time, I'll do that absolutely. But I think what we want to do is be president, make America great again, bring our country back. That's much more important to me. Please, the genius up here that knows more about crypto. Go ahead.
What do you think it'll take to stop the Russian-Ukraine war?
I'll stop it. So I get along great with Putin. I get along great with Zelensky, and I'm going to stop that war. We're going to stop it. That war is a horrible war, and it could have been stopped very easily. That would have never happened if I was president. You know that. Even the Democrats get up and they say, "I will say, it will never happen if Trump was. It would have never happened if I was president." And it didn't happen for 4 years. You didn't see anything like that. That was not on the horizon. I was very friendly with Putin. I had a very good relationship, which the fake news thinks is terrible. It's actually good. I'm trying to explain, no, that's a good thing. We've got a lot of nuclear weapons, and so do we. It's a good thing that we're friendly.
We should be friends.
I got along with Kim Jong-un. That was going to be a nuclear war, and I ended up having a very good relationship with him. If you look at Hungary, Viktor Orban, who's the Prime Minister of Hungary, he said the other day, a couple of times, he's been saying it all over the place. They're saying, what's going on with the world? It's up in flames. Everything's going with Russia, Ukraine, with Israel, October 7th, with all these wars that are going on, Syria, everywhere. It's a mess. He said, there's only one way to stop it. Bring back Donald J. Trump as president, and everything will stop. China respected him. Russia respected him. Everybody listened to him and bring him back. And I believe it's true. I mean, he's a strong man. They say he's a strong man. You know, it's supposed to be a bad thing, right? But he is a strong man. He's a strong person. And he runs a very strong country. And he had very strong borders. And he wants his country to be, successful. He doesn't want to have the shopping centers blown up, et cetera, et cetera. But he said, bring back Trump and everything will be good. So that's what we want to do. Yes, ma'am, please.
Are you going to restore our gas and energy, and open up the oil fields?
Oh, yeah, we're going to open up energy and drill, baby, drill. Absolutely. We're going to bring energy prices way down. That's going to bring everything else down. You know, what happened is he closed up a lot of the energy that we did. Now he's opened it up again, but it's too late. It's just like, other things. And what happened is the inflation came because of energy. We're going to drill, baby, drill, and other things. We're going to end the electric car mandate. By the way, and you guys might like electric cars, but here's the problem. They don't go far. I want to say it in a very sophisticated manner, they don't go far. And also, they're very expensive, and also, they're all going to be made in China because they have the materials and they have everything you need to make them. We don't. We have a thing called gasoline, more than any other country, anywhere in the world. We became the number one producer of energy, the number one producer of oil and gas in the world during my administration. We're number 3, and we were number 4 for a period of time. Almost within 6 months, we became number 1. We became energy independent, and prices were dropping like a rock. And that's the way you're going to get rid of your inflation. And then your interest rates are going to come down. Lots of other good things are going to happen. So we're going to drill, baby, drill. Okay? Go ahead, please. Yeah.
Do you have a better relationship with President Xi Jinping?
I think I'm going to have a very good relationship with him. I had a very President Xi of China, right? Is that what you're talking about? Yes. I think I'm going to have a very good relationship with him. I liked him a lot. He was here at Mar-A-Lago. Do you remember that? We were here for 3 days together. We got along great. COVID spoiled our relationship. Can't blame me for that, right? But I think we'll have a very good relationship. I look to have a good relationship. China paid us hundreds of billions of dollars. No other president got 10 cents from China. But China paid us hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. And so, I would imagine he'd want to see me lose. But I think I'll have a very good relationship with him and China. I think it's important that we do. Yes, please. Yeah.
So my question is, the homeless in California is getting really, really crazy. What's your plan for that?
California getting crazy? Well, you need a new governor. So Governor Newscomb, I think that'll go down as one of the good ones. Who knows? Maybe we won't have to use it. But, he'd like to run for president. He's itching. Who thinks Biden is going to get to the gate? Raise your hands. To the starting gate. Wow. the worst. Does not one person think he's going to be at the starting game? Go ahead, you can raise your hand. It's
No, I
beautiful
just want
young-
to ask a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Ask me. Can you believe that? These are all geniuses. That's why you do this investment. These are all brilliant people. Okay, ready? Let's do that again. Who thinks Biden will be their nominee will get to the starting game? You gotta be kidding. Not one. He goes, no way.
You won't make it down the stairs.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is basically because I'm from Poland and I've noticed that you
Duda
have.
was in my apartment the other day, you know.
What?
Duda.
Oh, so what is your
Yeah,
take on
but-
current Polish government?
I love Polish people, and I love. I'm very close to Duda. He was in New York 3-4 days ago. He came to say hello to me in Trump Tower. We were going to have a 30-minute meeting, and it ended up being 2.5 hours. I love the people of Poland. They're hardworking, beautiful people, and they're great. Poland is
And
really
Poland
important.
love you back.
Yeah, no, Poland is great. Where do you live? What city?
Warsaw.
You're in Warsaw?
Yeah.
Wow. So what the hell are you doing here?
My friend invited me as a plus one.
That's great. Well, enjoy it. No, I love the people of Poland. They will. When I'm president, Poland's a place that's protected. And you know, Poland is one of the only nations that they paid all their money, you know, that for protection.
Yeah.
If you look, they're the only, I mean, there's about 5 of them, but Poland was one of them. And they paid the money for protection
Yeah, we have
in
a
NATO.
Yeah.
A lot of the countries didn't. You had 28 at the time. You had 28. Now you have a few more have been added. But you had 28, and 7 were paid up. Poland was one of them. I think Poland's an incredible, I think they're just incredible people. Thank you. Say hello to them.
Thank
And they're
you.
protected. Yes, sir, please, with a big fat head of hair. Look at that. He looks like Steve Bannon. Is that Steve Bannon? Are you Steve Bannon? No. Go ahead.
Term limits for Congress.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a very popular thing. I've always felt the elections were the term limits, but a lot of the elections are rigged, frankly. It's a very popular thing. I hear it all the time. Now, you have to remember, congressmen, they want to be there for 30, 40 years. They're going to have to vote. So what you do is you make it retroactive, or you do something where, you know, they're not effective, but then that gets to be a little bit tricky, too. Not an easy vote to get. I'd be fine with it. And it's something we look at. I will say this, it's a very popular thing, term limits in Congress. A very popular thing. Now, at the same time, you're going to have guys that were there for 15, 20 years that are very effective people. Are you in favor of term limits? A lot of people, it's actually a pretty popular thing. I would say very popular. We'll look at it very strong. Yeah, please, go ahead.
You become active on Twitter again.
Well, I'm active in Truth. I like Truth better. I could be on Twitter. I guess it goes to, you know, everything once I put it out. But Truth Social has been a tremendous success. You even see that stock price. You know, they tried to short it and tried to kill it, and it wasn't killable. And now the people that tried to kill it got caught. That's not nice. And what they did is very questionable, to put it mildly. But I'm on Truth, and most of you, how many people are on Truth here? Yeah, we have a lot of people, bigger and bigger all the time. It's doing really well. Truth Social is doing very well. You know, Getter is gone, and Parler is gone, and so many are gone, and now we have Truth, and we have X. Who thinks that changing the name from Twitter, right? Twitter to X was a good idea. Who thinks that was a good idea? You do.
I
Tell
do.
me why. Tell me. All right, gets away from the old scumbag. That's true. I guess in that way it's probably, yeah, okay. But you paid a lot of money for that brand, and then you know, but it does create a little bit of a different feeling. Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
What are your thoughts on Elon? What are your thoughts on Elon Musk? Elon.
Oh, Elon, what's my relationship with him? Great. I just spoke to him a little while ago. I think Elon is a great guy. I think he's a brilliant guy. I helped him when I was president. I said, you cannot destroy our brilliant people. We don't have enough of them. But I think he's a great guy, and I want to have everybody have a choice of cars and all of that. But nevertheless, you know, what he's done is very spectacular. He's a really brilliant guy, and he's a nice person, too. I like Elon a lot. Yeah, please, in the back. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm a Canadian.
By the way, isn't this better than making a speech that you've heard about?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not backing away from your questions. I'm not Joe Biden. Did you see him the other day? He takes questions. There's a card. He says, Bill of NBC. So the guy Bill says, sir, what flavor ice cream do you like? And he takes out the card and he reads it. Thank you, Bill. Pause. Thank you, Bill. Pause. Vanilla. And I said, wait a minute. Not only is this a setup, but he can read his own answers. He can read the answers. They write the answers down for this guy. They never did that to me with these sleazebags screaming out questions a mile a minute. But it's okay. You know, we had the other day I was in Ohio, and we had 45-mile-an-hour winds. Bernie Moreno's doing very well, but I endorsed him, and he's doing very well. Everybody I've endorsed has won. Every single person I've endorsed has won at the Republican level, and mostly at the general election level. But the teleprompters blew down. So I had 45,000 people, television cameras all over the place with the red lights on, and the teleprompters are gone. And I'm at the beginning of my speech, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm up here all by myself. The teleprompters are gone. They are gone. There they are. They're sitting on the floor. They're busted up. I mean, this wind was so you could barely, I'm hanging onto the podium. I said, so we're going to have to just wing it for an hour and a half. Are you okay with that? And we had the greatest time. And I left, and Bernie Moreno, who's the Republican nominee, as you know, for Senate, he's now leading by a lot. So that was a great day. But I said, isn't it nice if you can have a candidate that doesn't need a teleprompter? And by the way, even if he has a teleprompter, it doesn't work. Right? Go ahead. And you like China, don't you? I can see that by your response to the question about President Xi. Go ahead.
I'm from California.
Oh, good. Oh, that's good. That's an interesting place.
How do we use the public or homogenization in short video that impact America?
Could you speak that louder for me? What did he ask? Go ahead.
I'm not sure. Okay,
I
have a pronunciation issue, so.
They can't even tell me what he said.
How do you view the problem of homogenization in short videos?
Homogenization.
Oh, homogenization. What does that word mean?
Oh, I think it's a thing that's happening. It's going to keep happening, and it'll all play out, and I think it'll end up being fine. I hope so. Interesting question. I've never had that one before. Go ahead.
What would you want to change about the way that Americans live? What would you want to change about the way that Americans live? What would you like to change about the way that American children are educated?
Educated?
Yeah, children. What would you want to change about the
So
way
I believe in choice, education for children. Choice is probably the biggest single thing. I also believe homeschooling if they want. A lot of parents do the homeschooling thing, and we have to help them along with that process. And they do it because they truly love their children. I have seen so many children from families that are homeschooled that absolutely are turning out to be incredible. So I like that very much. And we need great teachers, and we have to cherish our teachers. We have to really treat our teachers, I think, better than they're being treated right now.
And substitute teachers.
There's not much of a profession that's more important than our teachers. So I think that's very important. But I do like choice. I think choice is a real incentive to create good schools. Right? Thank you. Go ahead, please.
What are your thoughts on the increasing tax rates?
Well, I think if Biden gets in, he's going to increase your taxes by 4 times. If he lets the Trump taxes expire, which is really for low, middle, and business, that's what it's not for wealthy people, it's for businesses that create all those jobs. We created all the jobs. You know, the jobs that he put in they're called bounce back jobs, because we had the greatest economy, the greatest employment ever, and we took the time for the COVID to pass, and once it passed, it bounced back, and they're bounce back jobs. And he'd like to take credit for it, but people aren't giving him credit. On the economy, I'm 25 or 30 points up above him. You know, the economy is one of our strongest things. But those are all bounce-back jobs. We have to have a great economy. I think it's probably the most important thing. I actually think the border is one of the most important. I mean, a lot of people disagree, but I almost think the border maybe that plays into the economy, but the economy and inflation are very important. The border to me is very important. When you have 16 million people, and I think that's the real number, and it's probably higher than that came in from prisons and mental institutions and terrorists and everything else pouring in, and drugs pouring in like they never have before, at a level of 10 times what came in during my administration. We built 571,000 miles. Think of it. We built thousands of miles. We built so much. We built, think of this, 571 miles of border wall. We had another 200, and that's more than I ever said I was going to do. So we had 571 miles. When you take a look at that, and then we had 200 miles ready to be put up, could have been done over a period of 2 to 3 weeks. And that's when we first realized what they were doing. They wanted to have open borders because they took that and they sold all that wall. And it's very specific. That wall was designed by Border Patrol. And it's very hard to climb, and you have to be able to see through. And they wanted all sorts of things. And we have everything. And they're all wired from within. And there's steel outside, concrete, and rebar. The rebar goes in. Concrete, they want everything. They want every surface because of it. And it was great stuff. They sold it for 5%. 5% the cost, instead of letting us use it. Other states wanted to use it. Arizona tried to buy it. They wouldn't sell it. The federal government. And Texas wanted to buy it. They wouldn't sell it. But we did a great job in the border. We had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in the history of the world. So, but we're going to take care of that. We're going to make our country great again. We have no choice. Otherwise, we're not going to have a country. Go ahead, please.
What are you going to do about anti-Semitism on college?
You got to stop it. And it's amazing how weak these college heads are, these presidents are. It's amazing that they allow this to happen. Columbia cancels its graduation. If I'm a student or a parent of a student that's paying close to $100,000 to get their kids educated, and they cancel their graduation, and they go to all video. They want to put it up on a screen. Use your television. Use your local television or your computer for education. You don't have to pay that. I think what they're doing is so bad. At some point, they have to have courage. And these cancellations of all over the country, they're canceling their graduation ceremonies. I think it's a terrible thing. Go ahead, please.
How do you plan on providing gender-friendly parents? How do you plan on providing gender-affirming care to refugees that are
Gender-affirming care. That's an interesting question coming from this group. That's an interesting. Do you believe in men playing in women's sports? No. I don't think so. I don't think so. But look, it's a subject. But it's a very, very small percentage. It's so much talk and so much everything. It's such a small percentage of people that we're talking about, and yet it has such a big dialogue. But it is but they had, I don't know if you saw the weightlifting records that are being broken. A record that stood for 18 years was broken by hundreds of pounds. This guy comes up, have you lifted before? No, not particularly. He goes up to the thing. Can't do that. Can't do that. Yeah, please, go ahead. Please.
What's your secret to having so much
Stamina?
stamina?
Yeah. So I played golf today with a guy named Gary Player. He's 89, he shot 67. And I said, that is unbelievable. He's an unbelievable physical guy. And I'm a very good golfer also, I play good. And I think it's a lot of genetics. My father was a strong guy. My mother was a strong woman from Scotland, and he was from Germany. But he was very strong and smart, and his brother was a professor, the longest serving professor in the history of MIT, actually, graduated from school. They said, you're so good, how about staying at MIT? And he stayed there for, I think, 41 years, the longest serving professor in the history of MIT. MIT might be a little different than it was, I don't know. But I always feel, the racehorse theory, I always feel it's somewhat genetic. But it's also, you have to enjoy what you're doing. Now, who can enjoy being indicted? I got indicted more than the great Alphonse Capone, right? Alphonse Capone, the greatest gangster of all time, Scarface, they call him in a friendly manner. He had a scar from ear to ear. And as they say, that was not from Tiddlywinks, that was from rough stuff. And I got indicted more than he did. In fact, when a plane flew over they Democrat state, we call it a blue state, it usually meant they were carrying subpoenas to Trump. And they weaponized the justice over bullshit, by the way, all bullshit. They've weaponized the system. They've gagged Republicans like me. And if you say anything, you're going to jail. But jail is not nearly as important as our Constitution. So I'm not somebody that cares that much about that. But I think, I get that question a lot. I get two questions. That question, like, how do you do it? And the other question I get is, will they do it again? And we want to make it too big to rig. We think the numbers are so big. You know, as they get bigger, it's very much harder to rig the election. But we don't want to have a rigged election. Go ahead, please.
You have a fantastic family. In particular, Baron's popularity is growing. What hopes and aspirations do you have?
My wife will be so happy. She's right up there reading. They say that Barron is getting very popular. Barron, ladies and gentlemen, Barron Trump is getting very popular. First Lady Barron Trump is getting very popular. Great question with the First Lady having dinner right up there.
Future
So that's
president.
good.
What do you think of BRICS?
I don't know. It's right now he's doing a good job. Got great marks. And he's going to be going to college soon. And we're looking at some colleges that are different than they were 2 months ago. You understand that? It's sort of interesting. Thank you for the statement. Yeah, with the goggles on.
A lot of the smart people in crypto are moving their business out of the U.S. because it's scared of U.S. regulation.
Because of the hostility.
Right.
Yeah, crypto is moving out of the U.S. because of hostility toward crypto.
Right. So what are you going to do to stop it?
Well, we'll stop it because I don't want that. I don't want that. I want that. If we're going to embrace it, we have to let them be here.
TV, but what do you think about tangible things like gold and silver and coins?
I think it's like, look, everything has a market. And we have to embrace markets. Some people love gold. Some people don't understand gold. Some people love silver. They love silver. So it's all markets, and crypto's markets too, whether you like it or not, but crypto's markets too. But if we're going to have, what we have, we're going to have to embrace a lot of things that not everybody believes in, but we're going to have to embrace it. Behind him, yes, sir. Oh, right here, with the glasses. Yeah, you're right there, with the long, beautiful hair and the glasses.
Thank you. What's your favorite animal?
Human being. Go ahead, please.
What is the plans for DJT? Do you have anything other than truth for it?
Well, look, the truth is doing so well. It took a hit and then it went up like 75% in the last short period of time. And I think it's doing very well. It's got my voice, and I think my voice is considered the most important voice right now.
Any other things other than truth that's going to be for the media company?
We may, but we have a lot of fun with the NFTs. We have a lot of fun with some of the things we're doing. We have great partners on this. We have wonderful people that do a great job. They love it. And they love you. I love you. I mean, I tell you.
We love you.
Thank you. Even just like this little meeting, it was the same thing the last time. I don't know. I think it was 8 months. But we had from the first group in, and it was people that were just incredible. The love that they have, the spirit that they have, even the love they have for the country. It was just like, I said, these people are incredible. And that's why, look, a lot of people said, why didn't you price them at 99 when they're selling at 1,000 or much more than that? Because I want to have people do well. I think if they're selling at 1,000, I think we could have priced them at $4.99. And I don't think we're less, and it's a lot of difference, a lot more money, frankly, come to us, come to me. But I want people to do well, and people are not complaining, and we'll think about four. I would have thought you would have all said, oh, don't do it well. But the concept of bundling and having them together, and then only those people can buy, I sort of think that's cool. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. President.
Yeah, okay, you, right. With a good-looking face and the glasses, right there. Right there.
Yeah, what do you think about BRICS?
About
BRICS.
BRICS.
Great country.
Oh,
Russia, India, China.
Honestly, I know very little about it this time. Right now. I'll have an answer for you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Put it out on truth, okay? Yeah, please, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the humanitarian crisis that's going on in Rafah with the Palestinians?
Oh, it's terrible. It's at a level that few people have seen. Now, over the years, you've had levels like that, World War II. We could be in World War III with this lunatic. We could actually be in World War III. But over the years, you've had it in Europe. And different countries. In Japan, after they got the hell bombed out of them, you've had things like this and even bigger. But you wouldn't think in a modern world that could happen. No, it's a terrible thing. Everything's terrible about it. On both sides, everything's terrible about it. Please, open up.
When you're gonna be back in the White House? Is it?
Well, we hope on January 20th.
Can you please visit the first European country, Estonia?
Oh yeah, well a lot of people want protection. They have a little bit of a dangerous place.
No.
I tell you what, I know a lot of people from Estonia. They're going to be very good. They're going to be fine. They're great people, unbelievable. Is that where you're from?
Yes, I'm from Estonia, and the Conservative Party needs your help.
Yeah, they do. They do. They're in a,
Liberals are killing our nation.
They're in a bad path. They're going to be fine. I believe they're going to be fine. But
thank you.
We have to be strong. No, we'll be in that fight. Yeah, go ahead. You want to do one? Go ahead. You do another one. Look at this tall guy. Go ahead. Looks like my son Barron, by the way, 6'9". You know
oh wow.
6'9".
What keeps you going? What motivates you to keep going?
I love our country. I love our country. You know, if I don't know if I've ever even said this before. If I thought we lost the election, really lost it, I would never have done this. And I think the fact that we won so quickly and so easily, you know, in theory, if it were a normal election and nomination, I'd still be working right now. I wouldn't be here. I'd be out in a state that hasn't been chosen trying to win the nomination. I won it 2.5 months ago. The quickest anybody's ever won the nomination against talented people. You know, we had very talented people. Some of them I wasn't so friendly with, but that's okay. That's why we won, I think. But we had some very talented people. But if I didn't think that we won that election, I would never have done it. If I thought that that election was actually lost by me, instead of being won by a lot, we won that by a lot. The cheating was rampant. I would never have done this because I could handle losing. What I can't handle is having it stolen because that's going to kill our country, and I can't have. So if I would have thought that, gee whiz, we didn't make it, I wouldn't do this. I could have had a nice life living right up in the top of that tower and living in nice towers all over the place that I have and other places all over the world. I have some of the best resorts in the world. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be going and schlepping from place to place to place and making speeches and having rallies, even though I do enjoy it. I enjoy this. I'm learning too. You know, as you ask questions, I mean, a couple of those questions I'm going to mark down and think about. But if I thought that we didn't do great in the last election, we won the last election by a lot. It wasn't even close. Yeah. If I thought we lost the election, I would never have done this because I would have said, probably not going to win. And I will tell you, we're way higher than we were on number 2. And number 2, remember this. We won the election in 2016. But in 2020, we did much better. We got millions and millions more votes. And people don't think that. They don't think about it. But we did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016. I was told by pollsters, the biggest, by McLaughlin, Fabrizio, the great pollsters, that if we get the same as we got in 2016, the same, we can't lose. We got 10 to 12 million more votes. And that's that we know of. That's not the ones that where the cheating was so rampant. If I didn't feel that, and if we didn't do that, I would never have done this. But I think we're going to have an election victory, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before, and I think it'll go down as one of the greatest victories in the history of our country. Now, do you want to do a few more or not?
Yes. Yes, please.
Because I know that meal is waiting for you. How about back there? Please, go ahead.
Why do you think our military is having an issue recruiting down there? How can we fix this?
Where?
Military.
Your military where?
U.S. military.
Having problems. Well, I've rebuilt our military, almost the entire military. We had fighter jets that were 50 years old. We had fighter jets where the father flew them, the grandfather flew them, and now they're flying them. And we bought beautiful new equipment all over the place. I think Afghanistan was one of the biggest disasters in the history of our country. I think it was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. We gave them $85 billion worth of brand new beautiful equipment, including jets and tanks and lots of goggles, night goggles, where you can see better than you can see in the daylight. They have better than we do because they're brand new. But our military is great. You know, I was told that ISIS would take 5 years to do, and I got ISIS out in four weeks. 4 weeks! Because our military is great, and I let them do their thing. And there was nothing politically correct about what I let them do. And they had ISIS done. And so we have a great military, but we have to let them do their job. Just like we have great law enforcement, but we have to let them do their job. I'm giving something that is very important because I'm looking at our cities where they walk into a department store and 500, largely young people, but 500 people walk in and they totally rob a department store and there's not a thing on the shelves after less than an hour. And they walk out with televisions, air conditioners, everything. And I'm going to give a very strong immunity to all police in this country so that they can do their job, and if they get sued, we're going to protect them, because a lot of them are getting sued.
Yes.
And we're going to protect them with immunity so they can do their job, and that's going to bring crime way down. How about you in the back? Which pipeline? Well, the Keystone pipeline. I mean, the Keystone, what they did with that is a disgrace. I had it approved, and Biden terminated it his first week. I got Dakota Access approved, as you know, and that was done and built and beautiful. But Keystone I approved, and they were building it, and then Biden came along. He had no idea what it was, but he rejected it for political reasons. I think it was a big political mistake. And the head of the union endorsed Biden. Think of that. They endorsed Biden. And then they were out 48,000 jobs in 1 week. As soon as he came in, he terminated the XL pipeline. So I hope we're going to be able to get it restarted. It's actually great. It goes into the Gulf. It's actually great. Okay, how about one or two more and we'll be done? Yes, please, go ahead. Right back.
What do you think of Hunter Biden's laptop?
I think you should have picked it up from the repair shop. Think of how their world would be different, right? Think of that. If only I picked it up. If only I would have liked to pick it up too. They haven't even revealed what's in that sucker. You know that, right? No, I think it was a terrible thing. How about you in the back? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, either one.
Okay. I got one. Did you see the one-on-one ordinals yet?
No.
Okay. I was going to ask you.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, sure.
Who's the gentleman on the NFT with you that had Andrew Jackson's sword? Who is that gentleman?
Who is that? I don't know. But I liked Andrew Jackson, but that was a long time ago. Ma'am, go ahead, please.
I just wanted to let you know that there's a token that's making fun of Joe Biden. It's worth $220 million right now. I don't know if you were aware of that, but obviously I think a lot of your supporters are.
And what about 240 billion what?
There's a coin worth $240 million that makes fun of Joe Biden. So,
Oh, that's funny. That's a lot of money for a coin. I don't like that investment. Please, sir, go ahead.
What are we going to do about the local judges and DAs
Oh, that's a good
undermining
question.
the law enforcement?
We've got a lot of crooked judges. We've got a lot of crooked DAs, and we have to do something about it because I've got 3 of them in New York. Terrible, terrible thing. You see the fine they put on over something that was perfect, a perfect job, and it was just a rigged deal. And we're going through that right now. It's a very sad thing, very big problem. And Soros back. I mean, Soros and other people like Soros back. I think it's not all Soros, but it's people like Soros. I don't know where they think, how they're thinking, but it's terrible. And crime is rampant. Violent crime is rampant. I think it's terrible. Oh, yeah, we'll do 2 more. Please go ahead, sir.
How do you feel about hydrogen gas as an energy source? Do you think there's any future?
Yeah, I like it, except a lot of people are saying it's dangerous and it's going to be very expensive, very hard to implement. I liked it a lot until I started looking at some of the facts. One of the problems with electric, it will cost $3 trillion to put charges throughout the country. $3 trillion. That's more money than the country has. The country would never be able to do that.
Well, I think gas, the potential, burn it creates water, could solve issues.
Well, it may, but they are having some difficulties with it, and there's a safety problem that hopefully they'll be able to get out. Go ahead, please.
yes, is it true that you own a Bible that came from the Hebrides revival from your great
from the Hebrides. How come you know the Hebrides? That's very few people mention that. Right? Stornoway. Are you from Scotland or anything?
No.
I do. I have a Bible given to me by my mother and father, and it came from the Hebrides, where my mother was born in Scotland. That's very nice. Thank you. And the Bible Museum has done a good job, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it in Washington, but they've really done a good job. Okay, who has not gone? We'll give one vote.
Right here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. The World Economic Forum, they had a campaign that said you will own nothing and be happy. How do you feel about the World Economic Forum and their position on
Well, I've been there, and it's a different group of thinkers. You would say they're extremely liberal or progressive. You ever notice they changed liberal to progressive? I don't know why, but they changed. I don't like the word liberal, but they're very liberal. And but I've been there. I don't know. I think there's nothing that can beat us. We have MAGA, Make America Great Again. It's the most powerful movement in the history of our country by far. There's never been a movement like this. And if everybody gets out and votes, we're going to have the greatest election in the history of our country. Make America great again. I love you all. Thank you.